This 1856 portrait seemed calm, until historians noticed what the enslaved child held in his hands. Dr. James Crawford fixed his reading glasses while he looked at a daguerreotype at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. It was February 2024, and he had been working on pre-Civil War photo collections for 8 months. Most pictures seemed the same: stiff poses, fancy clothes, faces frozen because early cameras needed long exposure times. But this daguerreotype made him stop. The image, dated September 1856, showed the Caldwell family from Richmond, Virginia. Mr. Thomas Caldwell stood next to his wife Eleanor, both wearing their best clothes. Their 2 daughters, around 10 and 12 years old, had on fancy white dresses with lace collars. The room looked rich, with thick velvet curtains, detailed wallpaper, and shiny mahogany furniture in the background. To the right of the family stood a young black boy, about 7 or 8 years old. He wore plain cotton clothes and had bare feet on the patterned carpet. His body stood very straight, his face serious, eyes looking a little down. The note on the daguerreotype case said the boy's name was Benjamin. James had seen many photos like this. Rich Southern families posed with enslaved children, showing them off like they showed their nice furniture. It always made him feel sick, but it was part of the history he worked hard to protect. He was about to go to the next picture when something caught his eye. Benjamin's hands were in front of him, fingers loosely held together, but his right hand looked strange. The fingers were not fully relaxed. They seemed to grip something. James moved closer to the screen where he had scanned the daguerreotype in high detail. The quality of this picture was amazing. Daguerreotypes were sharp, but this one was especially clear. You could see every thread in the curtains, the wood lines on the furniture, even the texture of Benjamin's hair. He zoomed in on the boy's hands until the fingers filled the screen. His breath stopped. There, hidden partly between Benjamin's curved fingers and held against his palm by his thumb, was a small metal thing. At first, in the full picture, it looked like only a shadow or light trick. But when made bigger and clearer, there was no doubt it was a key, small, thin, made of iron or steel, the kind used in the 1850s to lock shackles, chains, or manacles. James leaned back, heart beating fast. This was not just a normal family photo. It was something different. A 7-year-old enslaved child, made to stay completely still for the long camera time, was secretly holding a key his owners clearly did not see, or the photo would never have been taken. What did the key open? How did Benjamin get it? And most important, what did he plan to do with it? James knew he could not guess. He needed facts, papers, proof. But as he looked at that small hand holding the secret object, he felt the strength of a story that needed to be told. Benjamin stood there in 1856, not moving for the long time the daguerreotype needed, all while hiding something that could have caused his death, if found. What happened next? James had to know. James spent the next 3 days collecting every record he could about the Caldwell family of Richmond, Virginia. The Virginia Historical Society had many files. The Caldwells were important tobacco traders with much money and high position in pre-Civil War Richmond. Thomas Caldwell's business books were very careful, recording not only tobacco deals, but also his property, the people he owned. James found Benjamin listed. Benjamin, age 7, house servant, son of Rachel, cook, and Samuel, field worker, deceased, 1854. Benjamin's father was dead. That fact hit James hard. Samuel died 2 years before the photo, and the book just wrote deceased with no reason. It was common in records that saw enslaved people as animals, not people. James found more. A house list from 1856 described the Caldwell home room by room. In the basement storage, among tools and supplies, it said, iron restraints, 2 sets, chains, locks for security and discipline. So the Caldwells kept shackles at home. The key Benjamin held could open those locks. But why would a 7-year-old take such risk to hide a key in a formal photo? What was his plan? James looked at Eleanor Caldwell's personal letters, kept in a family collection. Most were ordinary: party invites, house talks, complaints about workers. But one letter from August 1856, just weeks before the photo, stood out. Eleanor wrote to her sister in Charleston, "We have had issues with Rachel's boy, called Benjamin. Thomas says the child is quiet and does not listen, probably from his mother's sadness. Rachel has been hard since Samuel died, though I tried to be patient. Thomas says discipline must stay. The boy saw his father's punishment and has changed. I fear we may sell him if he does not improve." Though Rachel would be heartbroken, the child is very close to his mother. James read it 3 times. Jaw tight. Benjamin had seen his father's punishment. Samuel's death in 1854 was not from sickness. It came from violence, and Benjamin watched. Now, 2 years later, Benjamin held a key in a photo. A key to shackles. Was this about running away? Freeing his mother? Getting back? James needed to know what happened after the photo. He searched Caldwell family papers from late 1856 and 1857 for any mention of Benjamin, Rachel, or odd events. Then he found it. A short note in Thomas Caldwell's diary, dated October 12, 1856, only 6 weeks after the photo. Found theft of basement key. Checked. And saw signs of trying to open storage locks. Rachel's boy, Benjamin, questioned. Item found. Strong steps needed to keep order and stop more trouble. Boy to be sold south right away. James felt ill. Benjamin had been caught. The key in the photo. He took it, hid it, and his plan was discovered. Hid it, and his plan was discovered. The result was being sold south, taken from his mother, sent to hard labor camps in the deep South's cotton and sugar fields, where enslaved children often did not survive. But there had to be more. What had Benjamin tried to do? Did he succeed at all before they caught him? And what happened to Rachel? James knew his next step. He had to follow Benjamin's life after 1856 and see if any family from Rachel or Benjamin still lived who might know parts of the story. James contacted the Virginia Museum of History and Culture, where Dr. Frame, examiner of history and culture, where Dr. Fire, Monica Price, an expert in pre-Civil War slave records, agreed to help. Monica knew how to trace sales and moves of enslaved people through sale papers, auction lists, and plantation books. Being sold south in 1856 was almost certain death for a child. Monica said, when they met, death rates for enslaved children on deep South cotton and sugar farms were awful. Many did not live through their first year. She opened digital records from New Orleans auction houses, the main place for people sold from the Upper South to the Deep South. If Benjamin was sold in October 1856 from Richmond, he would have gone by ship or chained walks to New Orleans. Let me check. James watched Monica go through databases with thousands of names. People turned into lines in books, valued like animals. Lives noted only as sales. After 20 minutes, Monica pointed to the screen. Here, November 1856, New Orleans. Sale from Templeton and Bradford. Boy Benjamin, age 7, good health. Houseboy from Virginia Estate. Bought by Mr. Henry Devoe of St. Charles Parish, Louisiana. James felt his chest tighten. A sugar plantation. Monica nodded sadly. One of the biggest in Louisiana. One of the biggest in Louisiana. Devoe was known for very cruel conditions. The harvest from October to January was called the grinding 18-hour days. Children working with adults. Many injuries and deaths. Were there plantation records? Maybe. Many Louisiana plantation papers survived the Civil War. Let me check state archives. Monica made calls while James walked in her office. Finally, she ended a call with an odd look. James, this is unusual. The Devoe plantation records are large and kept at Tulane University. But Benjamin's name is there. With a note he was moved after only 4 months. Moved where? To a different owner, a free woman of color in New Orleans named Josephine Lauron. She bought him in March 1857. James stared. Free people of color sometimes owned enslaved people in Louisiana, but it was rare, often to protect family from worse owners. Could Josephine be family? I do not know, but this needs more work. Let me contact Tulane for full records. 3 days later, James flew to New Orleans. Tulane's special collections let him see the original plantation books and sale paper for Benjamin's move to Josephine Lauron. The papers told an amazing story. Benjamin worked on the Devo plantation for 4 hard months during the 1856 grinding. Rachel's name was on membership lists from 1850. More interesting, secret notes next to some names, including Rachel's. Rachel gives food to travelers. James knew travelers often meant people escaping on the Underground Railroad. Was Rachel hiding and feeding escapees? He found proof in a surprising place. The diary of Quaker abolitionist Thomas Garrett from Philadelphia. Papers at Haverford College. Quaker collection. Garrett helped many escape. In an 1855 entry, got word from Virginia contact that 3 people safely left Richmond. Our sister there, Kay, keeps her risky work, giving shelter and supplies despite great danger. Her husband's recent death has not stopped her. Could our sister be Rachel and martyrdom be Samuel's death in 1854? James needed stronger proof. He contacted Dr. Monica Price again, and they mapped names and places from different papers. They found First African Baptist Church was a center for Underground Railroad work. Members quietly helping escapees despite huge risks. Rachel linked to at least 7 successful escapes from 1853 to 1856. Then they found something that tied everything. A letter from Thomas Caldwell to Richmond officials, September 1856, same month as photo. I report strange activity among some in African Baptist group. My cook, Rachel, seen meeting odd people. Also, basement storage key missing. I think there may be plan to help runaways. Ask for checks and more watch. Now it fit. Rachel helped escapes. Samuel likely involved too. His 1854 death, probably from Caldwell's finding out. Benjamin, at 7, saw his father's killing for helping freedom. 2 years later, Benjamin stole a key, not to escape alone, but to continue his parents' work. The September 1856 photo caught him, holding that key. Weeks before discovery, at 7, he stood in that formal portrait, gripping resistance in his small hand, while owners smiled, unaware. But what did Benjamin do with the key before court? James found the answer in Harriet Jacobs' 1861 memoir. In Library of Congress research, he saw a missed passage. In Richmond, I met Rachel who helped my escape. She spoke of her pain. Husband killed for teaching reading. Young son sold away after opening chains for runaways, helping 2 souls get free before discovered. She never saw her child again. There it was. Benjamin used the key. At 7, he unlocked shackles, helped to escape before court. Punishment. Taken from mother, sold to near certain. Death in Louisiana. James flew back to New Orleans with clearer picture. Josephine did not buy Benjamin by chance. She was in same resistance network as Rachel, saved him on purpose. At Tulane, James looked deeper into Josephine's papers. She was born free in New Orleans, 1820. Inherited from father white merchant in relationship with her mother, enslaved woman he freed later. Josephine used freedom and money to quietly buy enslaved people, especially children, free them, or protect until safe to go north. Her books showed 11 purchases, 1850-1860, including Benjamin. Notes: freed 1852, freed 1854, to Canada 1855. 4. Benjamin. Living in home, teaching given. Freedom, when right age and time. Josephine kept him, taught him. Planned freedom, when safe. James found coded letters between Josephine and Rachel. One from Rachel, June 1857. Sister J, heart full of thanks, knowing my son breathes free air with you. What he saw, what he suffered. May God give peace. Tell him father proud. Tell him mother's love reaches far. Josephine's reply: August 1857. Sister, your boy does well, learns letters fast, catching up lost time, talks often of you and father, key in his heart, now key to learning. He will grow strong. One day, when chains fall from all, he ready. Chains felt tears, Benjamin survived, against odds, rescued, taught, given chance. But what next? And Rachel still enslaved in Virginia. More letters over 4 years showed Josephine teaching Benjamin reading, writing, business. By 1860, age 11, letters noted great learning skill and wish to help others. Then Civil War. 1862, Union took New Orleans. Slavery ended there, under Union control. Josephine's 1862 papers showed formal freedom for Benjamin, though free in home years. Benjamin, age 13, formerly enslaved Virginia, now full freedom and protection as free person of color, New Orleans. Note, Benjamin sought ion work immediately, messenger, then helping chaplains/teachers start schools for freed people. At 13, following parents' path, helping others get education/freedom that cost father life. James still asked, what of Rachel? Did they reunite? What of Benjamin after war? Next, research back to Virginia, then Washington, tracing through war and Reconstruction. Leaving New Orleans, James looked again at 1856 Daguerreotype. 7-year-old Benjamin, stiff in Caldwell mansion, secretly holding key he used to free two, before torn from mother, sent to die in Louisiana. But he did not die. Survived, rescued, taught, freed. Key, literal, and symbolic, of resistance, knowledge, freedom. Benjamin's story far from over. Back Virginia, James searched Rachel after 1856 sale. Caldwell records showed she stayed cook to 1859. Notes said sullen, uncooperative after son's sale, understandable, child taken as punishment for bravery. 1861 war began with Confederate attack, Fort Sumter. Richmond, Confederate capital, city war hub. Caldwell records potty in war. But James found Rachel elsewhere. First African Baptist Church records. She attended through war, church more active in resistance. Amazing find in Elizabeth Van Lew papers. Richmond woman ran Union spy ring. Coded notes at Virginia Historical Society mentioned black community helpers. 1863 entry, our sister at Caldwell House keeps giving news Confederate supplies. Her home position gives good access. Rachel became Union spy, confirmed in Union Army records. General Benjamin Butler's list, Richmond civilians aiding Union. Rachel noted, cook, Confederate home gave steady, reliable info troop moves, supplies. Helped, Union success region. Rachel did not just grieve lost son, killed husband, fought back, using position to weaken system that broke family. War ended April 1865. Richmond fell Union. James found Rachel Freedman's bureau May 18, 65. Rachel, age 39, formerly Caldwell enslaved, seeking son Benjamin, lost Louisiana. Rachel survived. First free act, find son. James knew from New Orleans Benjamin alive. Working freed people Louisiana, 1865. But did Rachel find him? Reunite. Answer, surprising place. Richmond Black History Museum. Letters from First African Baptist Descendants. October 1865 letter, Benjamin to Pastor Reverend John Jasper. Reverend Jasper, joyous news. Mother Rachel arrived New Orleans last week. Steamboat from Richmond, after Freedman's bureau, word my location. Embraced first time 9 years. She cried seeing me grown man 16. I cried holding her again. Years apart cannot return, but together now both free. Mother tells father's courage, her war work helping others. Proud their son. Plan stay New Orleans. I continue Freedman schools teaching. Mother join work. James sat back, full emotion. Found each other. After 9 years apart, Samuel murder, Benjamin near-death Louisiana. Rachel dangerous resistance. Survived. Reunited. Story not complete. James needed post-1865 Reconstruction and beyond. James to New Orleans. Again. Searching Benjamin/Rachel Reconstruction activities. Freedman's Bureau records large. New Orleans Key Education Center post-war. Benjamin name many times. School records 1865, 1870. Age 16 teaching literacy adults/children. Age 18 head teacher Freedman School Trem neighborhood. Old black community U.S. Rachel same records. Worked son. Teaching home skills. Literacy freed women. Helping new freedom. More. Both. Louisiana Equal Rights League members. Group Free Color/Freed People Fought Civil Rights. Voting. Equal Law. 1867 League Minutes. Benjamin Speech. New Orleans Tribune Report words. Stand proof chains never bound spirits. Age 7 held key small metal unlocked shackles. Helped 2 souls free. Punished terribly. Torn mother's arms. Sent dye cane fields. Survived. Sue revived community people like Josephine Lauron. Used resources by free enslaved children. Refused let perish. Survived mother. Enslaved Virginia. Moved heaven earth save me. Survived father. Murdered teaching read. Showed knowledge truest freedom. Key child real. Also symbol. Every book opened key. Every word taught key. Every right claimed key. Unlocks chains tried bind us. Free now. Freedom nothing without equality. Justice. Power shape. Destinies. Speech standing ovation. Reprinted North abolitionist papers. James felt Benjamin's path. From 7-year-old frozen Daguerreotype secretly holding key to 18-year-old speaking hundreds fight freedom. Not over slavery. End. James traced 1870s, 1880s. Benjamin married Catherine 1872. 4 children. Continued teaching. Republican politics Reconstruction. Fought black voting rights. Representation. Rachel lived Benjamin family. Helped grandchildren. Continued teaching. Lived see son respected educator. Leader. Rachel obituary 1889 New Orleans Tribune. Mrs. Rachel, age 63. Passed peacefully family. Born slavery Virginia. Known courage pre-war years. Helping many escape bondage great risk. Husband Samuel killed teaching enslaved Reed. Son Benjamin sold age 7 using stolen key help 2 escape slavery. Separated 9 years. Reunited post-war. Spent rest life teaching. Uplifting freed community. Survived son Benjamin. 4 grandchildren. Countless students touched. Often said key freedom education. Spent life proving. Benjamin lived to 1914. Died age 65. Obituary great achievements. Founded 3 black children's schools New Orleans. Served Louisiana legislature Reconstruction. Wrote 2 books education civil rights. Mentored hundreds students became teachers leaders. One detail struck James most. Known keep desk small iron key. Reminder where came why education mattered. Told students first key freedom ever held. Every lessonly. Ran another key hands. Benjamin kept key whole life. Same key 1856 Daguerreotype. Used age 7 free to. Cost much. Led survival purpose. Story not just past. Alive today. Benjamin descendants. Obituary 4 children. Descendants still New Orleans. Contacted Dr. Kendra Williams, African-American family history expert, Louisiana. James explained findings. Kendra eager. Benjamin last name post-emancipation Freeman he chose. Symbolic. Kendra checked census, births, marriages, deaths. Built tree Benjamin Catherine 4 children. Marcus Sarah Thomas Ruth. After mother, 5 generations. Cost great-great-great-grandfather childhood. Cost great-great-great-great-grandfather childhood. Kept 60 years reminder. Your family, James said, kept real key and idea. 1. 5 generations educators. From 7-year-old, risked everything freedom. 6 months later, James Smithsonian National Museum, African American History Culture, watched visitors' new exhibit, The Key to Freedom. Benjamin Freeman's Story Resistance Education. Exhibit opened original 1856. Daguerreotype large wall. Visitors saw typical pre-war family portrait. Wealthy white family, formal. Enslaved child property. Next panel enhanced. Zoomed Benjamin hands. Key clear between small fingers. Text, age 7. Benjamin stole key Caldwell mansion basement, Richmond, Virginia. Used unlock shackles. Helped 2 escape slavery before discovered. Punishment sold South Louisiana. Separated mother Rachel. Brutal work killed most children year. Benjamin survived. Key became resistance symbol carried rest life. Next section's full story. Samuel murder teaching read. Rachel Underground Railroad. Benjamin rescued Josephine Lauron. Reunion 9 years. Reconstruction work. Benjamin educator civil rights legacy. War letters Rachel/Josephine showed network saved Benjamin. Section 1867 speech keys. Freedom, words, large. Center glass case actual key loaned Denise Freeman Carter. Visitors Lynn. Ed C. Small iron and much. Next key Benjamin 1890 teacher photo students. Then 5 generations Freeman educators to Denise students. Final interactive section. Explore other pre-war photos. Hidden resistance. James' team analyzed dozens similar portraits. Found small defiance. Woman forbidden jewelry. Man book half pocket. Children blocking overseer view. Every portrait era stage show slavery kind. But resistance showed small ways. Held. War. Hid things. Benjamin Key most dramatic found. Reminded look closer every image. Document. Object. Period. Hidden courage stories everywhere. Waiting discovery. Exhibit 1 museum most visited. News covered much. Filmmakers developed Benjamin's story TV. Schools requested traveling versions. For James, meaningful when Denise brought students. 30 elementary children ages 7-10. Same Benjamin photo age. Stood before principal ancestor image. Staring small hand forbidden key. Virginia Historical Society permanent display. Caldwell family. Enslaved people. No longer gentle southern culture, but brutal exploitation system. New Orleans. Benjamin nearly died. Instead survived, thrived. Exhibit same time ceremony renaming. Trem Neighborhood School. Benjamin Freeman Elementary. Denise spoke. Dedication. Great, 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 great grandfather life. Proved key freedom education. Held literal key age 7. Used free 2. Held metaphorical keys whole life. Books, lessons, knowledge. Used free thousands. Now name school. Remind every child walks doors they hold keys. Power unlock doors. Break chains. Free themselves others. James continued research. Wrote book Benjamin story. Published good reviews. More important, story sparked wider movement. Historians, genealogists, archivists, systematically analyzed pre-war photos. Hidden resistance. Found dozens enslaved wearing forbidden colors, holding forbidden objects. Positioned silent protest. Each photo another story POP'd. Refused reduced property. Kept humanity agency even photos designed deny both. Museums featured stories big. Schools added curricula. Slavery narrative shifted passive victimhood active resistance. Erasure recognition. Silence voice. 5 years James first noticed key Benjamin hand. Email Chicago teacher. Took class traveling exhibit. One student 7-year-old boy deeply moved Benjamin story. Freeman family continued legacy. Denise daughter teacher. Son civil rights lawyer. Benjamin descendants across country. All knew family history. All understood carried resistance education legacy. Back, 7-year-old risked everything freedom. James often thought February 2024 moment first. Zoomed Benjamin hands. Saw key. How easy miss. How easy Benjamin stories stay buried archives unknown. But not missed. Key found. Story told. Now Benjamin legacy lives. not just history books, classrooms, country children. Learn they hold keys, have power, can help unlock chains still bind people today. But to grab meant show Caldwell family wealth power, instead became testament courage, child tried treat property. Benjamin eyes, rigid posture, small hand clutching forbidden key. All spoke truth. Caldwell's never meant preserve. People enslaved, not passive, not defeated, not property. Human beings resisted, fought, held keys literal metaphorical. Unlocked doors, slaveholders tried desperately keep closed. Benjamin Freeman key opened shackles 1856. Today's story still opens minds, breaks chains, teaches new generations lesson father died for. Knowledge freedom, education power, resistance not just possible, essential. Key remained Smithsonian case, small iron changed everything. Every day, visitors stand before, see not just historical artifact. Reminder, we all hold keys. Question, not whether have power.